I have a 5-year-old Friesian horse. We dabble in a little dressage, and we needed help with trailering, with spookiness, with being around other horses. Although I'm a fairly experienced rider, some of these subtle things weren't working for us. And when I heard about the clinic with the mounted police, I thought perhaps they would have some answers since they can make their horses bomb-proof. And it helped. We enjoyed it. We had a wonderful day. We got help in several areas with the trailering, with walking over obstacles, with working as a drill team in cadence with other horses. That was an area that we had problems with. Being in dressage, a horse tends to be ridden alone a lot, and we had a lot of progress with that. The other things we enjoyed were the people. The Mounties were wonderful. They worked with everyone on a personal level. They helped you at the speed or the rate that you wanted to work. No one was rushed or hurried. It was a wonderful day, very good experience. One of the problems we had was trailering. My horse was hard to get into the trailer by myself. He would go in nicely if I had a second person behind him, but by myself, he would walk halfway in, stop, and go back out. The police at the clinic helped me and taught me the right cues to teach the horse to move forward, to stop, to back up, to move sideways. And now we can trailer with confidence because I brought him home. I practiced. I put my horse trailer in the arena. We practiced all the things the police taught us, and now I'm confident that we can trailer to and from our riding lessons and not have to have help to get in the trailer.
These clinics and classes that we put on, it just gives you an idea of what you can take home and practice. It's not going to fix a problem on the spot, but what it will do is give you an idea of how to fix the problem. That way you can take it home and work on it. If your horse is never exposed to a piece of flying plastic and he's scared to death of a piece of flying plastic, how will he ever overcome his fears if you just always avoid the flying plastic that you see laying around? You have to conquer that. You have to, what that horse is telling you is that he needs more of it. He needs more exposure of whatever it is that's bothering him, and that will help him overcome his fear.
In a safe and controlled way.
Some of the obstacles that we use for the Civilian Clinic are really a variety of things, but one of the things we use is what we would call the car wash. It's a wall of hanging plastic, and we want to teach the horse to walk through this wall of hanging plastic because he doesn't know that it's not a wall. So we teach him this so that when we ask him to move out, whether it's into a crowd of people or move out over a creek, that he learns to trust our legs and trust our hands and do it. And the car wash, the hanging plastic will do that. It will also help horses who doesn't like things touching their sides. People don't spend enough time exposing the horse, the whole body of the horse. And this will get stuff touching all sides of the horse and help him learn to squeeze through that. We also use what we call a black hole. It's a black box with water in it, so it would simulate a huge puddle of water, so to speak. And we know with horses' eyesight, they don't see things the way we see them. And they really have no depth perception. So in their mind, they think that we're asking them to step into a black hole. They don't know how deep that is. So getting them used to stepping through this black water teaches them again. We build in that relationship between the horse and the rider. We also use flags, waving it around the horse's head, getting him used to things moving over top his head. A lot of people don't get enough practice in stuff moving over top of a horse's head. And the same thing for a ball. We use a big 72-inch, what we call a riot ball, and we have some smaller balls. But we want to teach the horse to move these balls with their body. We want to take those balls and move them all around the horse, and for the horse to learn to be relaxed and comfortable around them. So much so that it becomes a toy to him. So those are some of the things that we use. And like I mentioned earlier, we also teach them to walk on a tarp. And they hear this rustle plastic underneath their feet. That's very scary to a lot of horses, because that's what the lions and the tigers would do in the woods. They always hear the rustle of the leaves before they leap out and attack. So we're having to fight a lot of nature here. So we want to, but we will never overcome it if we never expose our horses to it. So again, we got to expose them to this stuff, and it will help them overcome their fears.
As Officer Rakes was talking about the multi-size balls we have, you'll see a lot of police departments using those. What those are really great for is to introduce the horse to crowd management and help the horse develop crowd management skills. By that, what I'm talking about is the 72-inch ball. It's a very large, colorful ball. At first, we might take that ball and teach the horse that the horse can touch it and it will retreat from him. The horse builds confidence that he can push something if he has to. Where we can take that to is most police departments, one of the main things they need their mounted units for, are the few times that it does happen, is when there are large crowds and the crowds have to be dispersed in a civil manner. And most of the time, it's just the presence of the officers that are able to do that on the horses. A properly trained mounted unit moving together can achieve this. Mounted units are very good for getting people moving, getting people going the direction. Sitting way up here, I'm 9 foot above the ground. I can make hand motions, I can blow whistles, I can give directions to let the crowd know which direction we need them to go. Once we start relieving that pressure from the back of the crowd, the front has somewhere to go. As opposed to me being on ground trying to tell people, and the people in the back never even knowing I'm trying to move them. The horses get the people going, starts the crowd moving. We can bring foot officers to come in and form a line around the horses to establish a line. As long as the crowd's moving, horses don't have to do anything else. If the crowd stops and needs to be moved again, the officers can move out of the way, the horses can come through and re-give directions. If the crowd isn't moving, or it becomes a hostile crowd and the horses do actually have to make contact, that's where you would see the value of the ball, where the horse is used to having the ball touch their sides, they're used to having things touch their sides, their front, they've accepted that.
My horse and I have probably been in a few situations to where it was pretty scary. And probably one of the most scariest moments I've been in is actually a few years back when we had to work some of the NCAA celebrations, basketball championships, where you have a rioting crowd. They have consumed so much alcohol, they're in such good spirits, they want to celebrate, they just really want to get into trouble. And it gets to the point where things really get out of hand. They start setting fires, they start overturning vehicles, breaking out storefront windows, and we have been there on horseback in the middle of this. And when they're sitting there, you're in front of this crowd of people, and they're throwing stuff at you. Bricks, beer bottles, whatever they can get their hands on, firecrackers. That's happened numerous times where we've actually had people throw fireworks at us. That's pretty scary for the horse and for the rider too. So that's probably one of the scariest situations we've had to deal with. Really, probably an everyday fear that I have is one of just really getting hit by a car. We're on the city street all day long when we ride our horses, and we have so many people drive past us that maybe don't have good vision, or they become distracted because they're on their phone or they're texting. So that's really my everyday fear, is just getting hit by a car.
I've gotten him into so many things, he's always gotten me out of it. The things I can tell you right now, the scariest I've ever been is like a lightning storm had been on him, because you feel like they're touching the lightning. But we're out working in those environments. That's just things that happen. We've had to ride by a fire to get to the other side of the street to stop traffic. As we're going by, the heat, it feels like I'm going to melt as I'm going by. I know he can feel that. A transformer explodes right beside us as we go by. He stayed focused, take care of business. We get by and get to the other side where we can stop cars coming. Things like that happen just all the time, and you're just thankful that your horse is trusting you enough to get you through it.
I can tell you how I know when Jake trusts me. And if we encounter something that is really not scary to me, but in his mind it may scare him, I can feel through my legs, through my hands, through my seat that he trusts me by how his body is reacting. And some of that is, if I keep asking him to go forward, I can feel that he's trying. He's not ready to jump and run the other way. So he's basically checking in with me every step of the way, even though he is fearful. So that's one of the ways that I know he trusts me. When I go to get him out of his stall, does he come to the door and want to be with me? When I go to get him out of the paddock, does he come to me? Matter of fact, does he not just walk to me? Can I get him to run to me and want to be away from the other horses and be with me? Because then he knows we get to go out and do some fun stuff, not just work all the time. And we got to make it to where it's not work. When we're out on the city street, we can't make it to where it's work on their part. We have to keep it interesting for them. And that helps. It helps build the trust again.